Did the 49ers win yesterday? You were there, right?
Yeah.
You were there because I never know. I never trust what's coming through my television set. Maybe it was a fictional piece. Did the 49ers win yesterday?
I believe they scored more points than the team they were playing
They
against.
did? Because that's what my TV said. Is that what you saw in person?
Yeah, the scoreboard said 22-16 when all was said and done.
The 49ers did not look like we wanted them to look. But are you not all gathering the same message? This was always true, but more so this year, right? The parity is at an all-time high. Okay, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks over here about to win a division in the NFC, and they're 5-5. Okay, there's parity everywhere. Winning games in the NFL, no matter who you're playing, let alone a team with a winning record, winning games in the NFL is not to be dismissed. It's not to be flicked off like a bug that landed on your arm. So I know that everybody still wants, with names like this on the offense, you want a traveling roadshow. You want it to look like the Golden State Warriors have looked at times through the last decade, where it's just like, my God, this is the best show in sports. The 49ers, as it stands currently, are not the best show in sports. But they're a pretty good football team, and that was a pretty good win.
That was a great win, and it was a defensively fueled win, and it was really the way this 49er team is going to win games. If you think that because they have all these weapons that they're going to suddenly go out and score 72 points, I think you're sadly mistaken. And when you have a defense this good, one of the best defenses in football, and you have a great running game, and you have a head coach who loves to run the football, a tight end who loves to block up in the run game, this is going to be the way you go about trying to win games.
Well, it's funny because I got a text message from the lovely Christy during the game, and she goes, hey, do the 49ers even have a hurry-up offense? Like, do they have that in their book? And I'm like, well, yeah, they do. They do. They've rarely had to use it, and then at times when they were supposed to use it, they still didn't use it. Remember Atlanta?
Yeah.
We're down 2 touchdowns. We're fine.
They actually went to it early in the game. It wasn't a hurry-up, but what it is, it's called the sugar tempo, where you're not huddling, you're not really hurrying, but you're not huddling. They went to that early in the game last night.
Well, but true. But the Niners, more often than not, when you watch them, right, they look like they're just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
It's like, we're bebopping along, and they might be down by 10 points, and that makes people very uncomfortable. But it is the game plan. I do think the 49ers do have some 30-something point games in their future. They better have one when Miami comes to town. I think they might need it. But it was very obvious to me from the jump. The San Diego, don't get it twisted. By the way, quick aside, did I hear Beat LA chants last night?
I didn't hear any.
You didn't? Because the boys reported to me, because I watched a lot of the game on mute because I was doing the show on Fox during the game. But I'm hearing that there was a Beat LA chant.
I'm in the hermetically sealed press box, so you can't hear anything other than the press box PA announcer.
Do not give the Chargers that kind of a nod to use the Beat LA chant against them. That is reserved for the Rams. Even they're borrowing it. It's really the Dodgers and the Lakers.
That's it.
Beat LA. That's San Diego that you played last night. So anyway, the game plan against the San Diego Chargers was obvious. We think we can run the ball. We think that over 60 minutes of action, we are going to wear this team down. We think our defense is going to get the upper hand once we see what they're doing and we'll get the adjustments. Like, even when they're down by 10, I felt pretty confident for the majority of that game the 49ers were going to win. Did you?
Not really. No, especially, and I think Joe made a good point about when Herbert got hurt. If he doesn't get hurt and they pop that in for a touchdown, we've got a different kind of ball game.
Yeah, that was all the way back at the 30-yard line. It's not like they were they weren't at the 2-yard line.
They were,
there were questions there.
They were in a position where they could still go down and score a touchdown. Yep. He gets hurt. They settle for 3. That did change the course of the game. But the first half, I thought the 49ers were flat. Offensively, I thought they were pretty flat. Defensively, they were maligned on that opening drive, 75-yard drive. L.A. went boom, 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 straight down the field, punched you in the mouth, 7-0. That, to me, was a little bit troubling. So, yeah, I wasn't panicking like, they're going to lose this game, but I was definitely concerned.
The Rams did the exact same thing. And you know what I love about this, and maybe it's because I watched a team closely do this, but years ago when I was working with the USC Trojans in the Pete Carroll era, they would do this all the time. You watch a team come out, and often they're going to go right down the field and make it 7-0. And the sideline would go, okay, we got it now. We just needed to get a look at what you were doing, and we got it now. And the last two games against the Rams and Chargers, that's what it's looked like for DeMeco Ryans. Thank you. There's your 7 points. You just told us what you're doing. Now we're going to make our adjustment and say goodbye to the end zone because you're never going to see it again. And that's the end of that, and we're going to shut you out in the second half. It's a phenomenal formula. I'm not saying you can snap your fingers and do that every week. I'm not saying you could do that to a Bills or a Chiefs or even an Eagles or a Vikings, but it's a really, really good formula. And, you know, all the people who were like, after the Chiefs game, when they're like, everybody get off of the whole DeMeco's going to get hired somewhere else wagon. Well, that wagon is rolling again because the 49er defense is at least healthy enough. If you shut teams out in the second half, my God, you're going to win a lot of football games.
Yeah, and shut them out in the way that they did. And basically, what you said before is true as far as their approach goes. They were going to run it until they got stopped. They didn't get stopped, and they were going to dare San Diego, L.A., however you want to call it, to run it, knowing that they probably couldn't run it. Austin Eckler, shout out the over 5.5 catches. That was easy money at minus 150. They couldn't run it with Eckler. They could only throw it to Eckler. And once you realized they couldn't run the ball, you didn't have to do anything special defensively. They played mostly their base defense after that opening drive.